Welcome to another great Premiere Pro tutorial, because I know you guys love them so much. And in this week's video, I'm going to teach you how to make a custom transition, something like this. Now this right here might not seem that great, but it's a certain technique that I want to show you, because once you know how to do this, well then, the possibilities will be endless. Hey guys, it's Jordy here for Cinecom.net, and let's delete everything so we can start with a blank page. There we go. And also here I'm going to delete this transition as well and the asset. So what we have left now is an empty sequence or timeline and two video clips. And let's start by just dragging these two clips inside the timeline. There we go. And it's just going to say keep existing settings, and we have some shots of the awesome BMW i8 car, or the E8. Not sure how you pronounce that in English. It's an awesome car, but let's make a custom transition onto this inside Premiere Pro. And for that, we're going to create a new sequence. So go over to your new item menu from here and just select new sequence. And we're going to name this transition. There we go. And we're going to add a black and a white solid into it. So click again on that new item button and select color matte, press OK. And let's start with the black color matte. Just name this black. Okay. And we're going to do that again. Head over to color matte, but this time select white. Press OK and also name it white. And I'll just drag these two into that transition timeline, but make sure that they are on top of each other like so. And let's create a very basic transition where it goes from black to white. So I'm going to head over to my effects for that and search for the crop and just drag that onto my black layer like so. And now I'm going to animate, for example, the right property. So just click on that stopwatch in the beginning, head to the ending, and make that 100%. And perhaps this is a bit too long. Let's just shorten this a bit to, let's say, 2 seconds somewhere. So I'm also going to move that keyframe a bit and also just make those clips smaller like that. So now we have a beautiful transition where it goes from black to white. And this is the basis where we can start from. If I'm going to head back to my main edit right here, the BMW video edit, and here I can use that transition now. So I'm going to head back to my project, look for that transition sequence, and just drag that on top of my two layers. Now here's something that you have to keep in mind. You have to align this transition to the ending of your first clip, and then make sure that these two clips overlap each other. So what I can do is bring clip number 1 also to video track number 1 and drag clip number 2 to the beginning of the transition so that it aligns right here, and that clip number 1 stops on the ending of that transition. And then we're going to head over to our effects library again, and we're going to search for the matte, and then just look for the track key matte and drag that to clip number 2 and also clip number 1. And when you have one of these selected, you can go to your effects controls to change the properties of the track matte key. And we're going to select the matte, which is the transition, and it lays on video 3, video track number 3. So just select that one. If you have the transition laid on video track number 4, for example, then you can select video track number 4 also here in this drop-down menu. Then for the composite using, we're going to select the matte luma. And also we're going to select reverse, and that's because we want to use clip number 1 for the black, which is in the beginning of the transition, and then it goes to white. And for clip number 2, we want to use the white. So here we're not going to use that reverse. Now in either way, if you see that your transition is going to the wrong side, then just flip the reverse checkbox. So also here for clip number 2, select video number 3, the track for the matte, then for composite using the matte luma, and here we're not going to select the reverse. And if we're going to play this video right now, it should look pretty fine. So that's pretty awesome, as you can see. Clip number 1 is using the black area, and clip number 2 is using the white area. So you can already imagine that this gives you tons of possibilities. You can create any animation which is black and white fields to create your custom animation. And now there's one last problem that we have, and that is after the transition, you will see that the video is just black. And that's because clip number 2 is looking for something in video track number 3, but there isn't anything anymore right here. So what we have to do is just cut off the clip right here after the transition, Then select the second part and just remove that effect so that it's not looking anymore to something in video track number 3. So if we play this right now, everything looks pretty awesome. By the way, also, if you have any trouble in the beginning, if you see something black in here, also here, just cut it off and just remove the effect in the beginning like so that only the effect is actually applied underneath that transition. But okay, we have created something basic now, a basic transition. So let's make something more from this. I'm just going to double click on this. We can actually change it in here without having to re-edit anything in this timeline. So we can just work on the transition now. That's the cool part of using this technique. So I'm just going to like reset everything here, just remove the keyframes from that crop effect and just reset it. We're going to start with a blank page. And let's just do something here. I'm going to create a keyframe for the left and the right. And I'm going to go to the middle somewhere, and let's just put this to 40%. Also for the right, just put it on 40%. There we go. Then go a little bit further in time and perhaps make this 30% now, like that. And then maybe bring it back together to something around 45 or 50, doesn't really matter. And let's bring these last keyframes to the ending. So now we have this sort of an animation going on right here. Also make sure that your keyframes are always going smooth. Select ones in the middle, right click on them and say Bezier. That will change the icon as well, but you will see that we now have a more smoother animation going on instead of the linear keyframes that we have first. So now we have something like this, but this isn't really a transition yet. So we're also going to do something with the position. So open up your motion tab from here and create a keyframe for the position in the beginning. We're going to go a bit further in time, perhaps somewhere in the middle, and just move that bar all the way to the left. And then make it go again all the way to the right. And perhaps make it go off the screen so that we are fully in the white area. Also here, right click on that middle keyframe and select Bezier from the temporal interpolation menu. And when I'm going to play this right now, we have some cool effect going on right here. And if we're going to head back to the BMW video edit and play back that transition, we now have the animation adjusted, as you can see. So this is already looking a lot better now. This is more custom, of course. Now, the great thing about this transition is also it looks at black and white areas here. So also in your transition, you can have like multiple black areas. Don't limit yourself to only one black bar. For example, you can like duplicate this right here by holding down your Alt key and just dragging that to video track number 3. And let me just offset this very quickly by heading to the anchor point right here. So just bring that to the right or something so that we now have 2 black bars. There we go. And when I'm going to head back to my video edit and play this, you will now also see that we have something pretty cool. And you can also make something with circles. You can also use other effects from your effects library that will have an influence on how the black form looks right here. So that was it again for this video tutorial. You can download this project file as well for free. You can find a link to it in the description below, or also you can click in a card somewhere up here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything to say, please pop it in the comments below. Also, thumbs up this video if you've enjoyed it. And as always, stay creative.